You know me, hip hop or something like that. Something with some beats.
All right. We'll give him some hip hop. We'll give him Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy, tell him.
Yeah, that's some popping right there.
All right, we'll hit that up during the during the commercial break. We already played Michael. I was going to do Michael during the break, but we already did that before we went live. So we'll hit him up with some Soulja Boy, dude. Horrible stuff with him. But you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to make all you guys that are listening suffer during the hourly break. I may make you do it again too. If you guys bitch about
Do it again.
No. If they bitch about it when we go to hour number 3 for UFC and MMA, we'll just do it again, right? Or whatever. All right, back to Monday Night Raw. Cody Rhodes and Mark Henry. This was basically nothing. Cody Rhodes walked out on it, and Mark Henry won by count out. So that was it. They didn't advance the Mark Henry big face turn from the week before this week. You just kind of had Cody Rhodes bounce to the back end, and that was it. And then that led us into Randy Orton, Ted DiBiase Jr. What'd you think over this, man? I thought this match was great between these two.
It was good. It was actually really good. It showcased two young talent inside the ring. Not saying that Randy Orton is not the guy that's carrying the torch, but reality is, DiBiase Jr. has one hell of a future as long as he stays healthy and continues working on his mic. And, of course, he has probably the best trainer to work on his promos. And, of course, that's what I'm talking about, his father, the $1 Million Man.
Hey!
Everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Not bad, buddy. Not bad. I forgot, man. I got a guy on here that does impressions. Howard Finkel, $1 Million Man, busting him out live, baby, live. I like that. No, but like you said, man, Ted DiBiase Jr. has a serious future ahead of him. I can't wait for the face turn. You said earlier, and I was going to ask you at that point, but then we moved on to something else. You didn't expect a face turn. You said not in the near future. By the near future, I think that's what you said, something along those lines. By that, I mean, how long? How long would you wait to turn Ted DiBiase Jr. face?
But it all depends how still that the legacy gets. You got to see how things develop in the next couple of weeks, leading to the pay-per-view, and then of course you have SummerSlam. Were they thinking that he was going to get over so well? Probably not. They know he has talent, but he's still green, and I don't think right now, just this right second, pushing him to the spotlight immediately is going to help him out. I think they should just kind of take a step back and say, okay, we tested this out. It got over pretty well. His father got over pretty well as a host, and you kind of like work from that.
We need to see more of Ted DiBiase Sr. Like we talked about just a few minutes ago. I mean, his work was tremendous. There wasn't a segment of his from last night that irked me in any way. You know what I mean? They had the segment with Orton. Well, they had one segment individually with Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase backstage. Ted DiBiase and Ted DiBiase, and then Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase, and then there was another segment with the Legacy backstage. So yeah, I mean, great. So hopefully we see more of him. You know what I mean? Ted DiBiase. I hope they took note from last week. You know what I mean? I mean that was one of the better Raws that I've seen in several months for sure. You know what I mean? Maybe even longer than that. It
was definitely good. I mean, right now it's funny because I was thinking about this out loud to my friends earlier today, and I was like, it's kind of funny when WWE does something big on Raw. If it's the King of the Ring, there's always the 10th anniversary, whatever. There are always a big impactful rating that comes onto the event. Obviously, we have the commercial free. That was the big one. The draft was a big one. And then you kind of look at the trend. Numbers always go down. And then last week's number didn't go down too bad. But compared to this week's Raw and coming off the last 2 weeks, to me, I think I was impressed. I think the storylines that they try to develop is good. You have Evan Bourne now on Raw. But then again, you sit there and you go, all right, well, it was a good show. Then who are missing? We're missing the Santinos. We're missing the Brian Kendrick. We're missing the Miz. And these are the things that they all creative have to sit down and analyze and look at exactly how the storylines are being developed. It's interesting.
Hey, listen, I don't mean to change the subject. I gotta say this quiet because I'm sitting by. Hold on, let me go over to the window. I want you to listen. Can you hear this dog? Can you hear this dog? Listen.
The what?
Okay. There is a dog. Okay, the lady downstairs, right? She's got a dog. The dog's name is Benjamin. One of them little yappers. You know what I mean? And bark, 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 bark. Listen, I got a dog, right? I got a dog. Tell your dog to shut its mouth. You know what I mean? I mean, just say shut up. If the dog barks, shut up. This lady just lets the dog bark like the dude owns the world or something. You know, I don't understand it. If you own a pet, tell your dog to shut up. You know? It irks me, Jose. It's stupid stuff like that.
I can tell, Ryan. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'd love to go out there and just, I'd love to kick that dog right in the face, but I wouldn't do that. That's animal cruelty, and that's not good. I'd never kick a dog in the face. Come on, beat. But I'm just saying, if your dog barks,
hypothetical speaking, you're just barking.
I'm thinking out loud. If you own a dog, if your family owns a dog, and the dog barks, you tell the dog to be quiet, shut up, go somewhere, something. You know what I mean?
It's probably not neutered. You know, a lot of times, historically, because I own a dog for 16 years. Unfortunately, it passed away 2 years ago. But the learning curves behind that, you learn, what the dogs are, and if they're not neutered, then they usually they're a little bit more aggressive and they bark a lot.
I've got a male dog, and he's got a set of balls on him, and he doesn't bark like that. You know what I mean, dude? I know dogs are supposed to bark, but if you guys heard this dog, and the lady just stands there, I mean, it's just, yes. I don't know. Whatever. We're going to a break, and I'm going to calm myself down, F this dog, and may go out and tell him, shut up myself, and then we'll come back from the break. We're going to take your phone calls in hour number 2. We're going to do chat shout-outs, 724-444-7444. 30273 is the call ID number. The live chat room is WZR Online.
You know why you're laughing?
Yeah, because of
since you kind of shout me out, WWE Raw fan wants to know.
I saw it. I sit here and read the chat. And my dog's got balls. Big balls too. Soldier Boy, tell him. Yeah, get money. We are back live on WZR Radio. Ryan Clark, Jose Rivera. We're going to be here for the next 1 hour. Me and Jose are talking WWE. We're going to finish up Monday Night Raw. We're going to take your live phone calls. We're going to do chat shout-outs. And then there's no ECW tonight, guys, and there's going to be a lot of Brock Lesnar talk in hour number 3 with myself and Matt Boone. So I know some of you WWE and TNA fans usually leave for our UFC segment, but there's going to be a lot of talk about Brock Lesnar and the big UFC 100 pay-per-view this Saturday night. So stick around. No ECW, like I said, So unless you got, what else you got to do? You know what I mean? Stick around for a little Matt Boone and Ryan Clark in hour number 3.
Rivera is going to go eat.
You going to eat? Where are you going, Wendy's?
Nah, I'm not going to Wendy's. I'm actually going to go to the supermarket. I've eaten out the last 5 days, and I need to cook.
Yeah, cook, all that barbecue, man. I mean,
way too much non-cool food.
All right, let me non-cool food. Good food, my man. Good food.
Well, healthier reasons. You know me, I'm a little bit more of the healthier freak.
Yeah, right. You know me, dude. 90% burger, throw on double sticks of cheese, do it up. You know what I mean? Screw it. Put it in the deep fryer.
You get a little older too, I'm pushing 34 over here, so it takes a little longer to lose that than if I was 24.
I've got August 16th is coming up pretty quickly here, man. So I'm gonna have a birthday here in the next few weeks myself, man. 28, baby. 28. Ouch.
Yeah, see, so you're good. When we get to my age, it takes a lot longer to lose, and I have a high metabolism, and it still takes a lot longer.
Yeah, but there's nothing like a deep fried Wendy's chicken sandwich
you're absolutely right. Nice, chicken fry right there with some fries, nice drink, orange soda, Now
if you're gonna do it, throw some cheese over it, some bacon on top.
You gotta throw some cheese and bacon. You got to.
Of course. That's my nightly dinner. And breakfast and lunch, you know what I mean? Screw it.
By the way, this is brought to you by Wendy's, the 99-cent dollar value menu.
Yeah, right. They've had that Wendy's double cheeseburger and that chicken sandwich going on for a good few months now, and it's still kicking strong. So maybe I'll make a trip after